Welcome back to the aowhodis podcast. This is episode 19. This is our Easter episode, so you guys will see this probably a little bit past Easter.
It's
but
like
that's
2
okay.
weeks past Easter,
right.
bro.
I hope everybody.
Wait, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
We have to restart. I forgot about this. Yes, sir.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
sir. Restart.
All right.
Yes,
Get
sir.
that for Easter.
Yeah, I got it 20 minutes ago.
I bet you can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you good?
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Welcome back to the aowhodis podcast. This is episode 19. This is almost after Easter episode for you guys. It's a little bit before Easter for us.
2 weeks after Easter, bro.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
Sorry,
As
guys.
you can see from the peep marshmallow thing here.
Yes,
that's
sir.
yours, right?
Look
Yeah.
at it, bro.
It's
I named
beautiful.
him Justine.
Just now.
Justin.
Wow.
Some will
That's
call him
beautiful.
Justine.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, his close friends call him Justine.
Yeah, but to get this podcast done, we kind of had to screw our families over in the slightest extent in the way. I'm already making them. All of my family right now they're waiting at their baskets, like ready to open up all their candy and stuff. I mean, that's normally what we do for our Easter. Like our tradition is we'll wake up in the morning, we'll have like a basket full of candy, maybe a present or two, and then maybe later in the day we'll hit like Easter egg hunt or something. But we don't really always do that anymore. We're kind of old now.
Yeah.
But they're all just sitting there. We kind of ruined their day, so I feel bad. But
Yeah, bro,
about
my
you?
thing was the same thing. So you had texted me, I think, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we try to get, like, a couple of videos and podcasts out in advance because our content schedule right now is 2 shorts a day, 1 video a week, and 1 podcast a week. And so we try to record a couple weeks out in advance, and we had videos. We have videos for this week, next week, and the weekend after. And so this is kind of just like a tough couple weeks for us because you're going on a trip. It's final season for me, and so this is kind of just a couple weeks. And so we are under the amount of podcasts we have to do. We're out of podcasts. We only have 1 for this Thursday, and then we're cooked.
Right.
And so next Thursday, you were like, "Hey, I'm not going to be here." And I'm like, "Okay, when can we spare an hour to get this podcast done by?" And this is the hour, Easter Day.
Yeah.
It is Easter Day.
yeah, and it's surprising we don't always do this, but we finally had like an actual plan set up. Like we were all good for these next couple of weeks. The day of my trip, which I was supposed to go to the beach because it's actually my birthday on the 22nd here, so this
Sir,
Tuesday.
happy birthday.
I appreciate that.
It's the only time I'm going to say because I'll probably forget day of.
Yeah, but I was supposed to go to the beach that weekend before. As that Saturday rolls around, we changed the dates on the beach and just screwed over the entire schedule for us, and I feel really bad. So I'm hitting you up. I'm just like, hey, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
After we had we talk, we're big on like very keeping our schedule like to the end of the world. Like this is the schedule we want to keep no matter what.
Us win, bro.
And like 2 days after we have that conversation, I'm like, hey, this might put a little stress on the schedule,
Yeah.
But it all worked out fine.
Yeah.
Thankfully
we get this podcast in. Hopefully we'll be good because final season. I don't know. We have to figure it out.
Final season? Is
After,
that soon?
Well, technically it's now. Because after
Really?
next Thursday, I think we're gonna have to come up for that weekend to keep recording, but we'll figure it out. Cross that bridge when we come to it. We're good on the schedule right now. But yeah, bro, it's Easter Day, and my family's big on like family time and everything, like Easter, especially since I'm at college and stuff. And so I was like, hey.
You guys have a lot of traditions?
Yeah, we do kind of the same as you, egg hunt, and then we'll do like the baskets and stuff, like the Easter bunny comes, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. But so it was weird because they don't like, people coming over on Easter Day. And so I'm like, hey guys.
Oh, really?
Hey.
Oops.
So almost gonna have to go over for like an hour, and I haven't told them about the podcast.
Really?
And so they just think we're hanging out, bro. They just think I'm a degenerate.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, we just record our hangouts like normal people.
Yeah, bro. We just be talking and recording it
just for the
and then
future.
uploading it and then editing it for spending hours editing. But that's okay.
Yeah. Do you ever see yourself telling them?
Yeah.
Or do you think you'll wait until they figure it out on their own?
I've told my sister. I mean, if you guys watch the ballet video, mastering ballet in a single day, if you watch that video, it's my sister who's the teacher. So I've told her. I've told her. But I haven't told my parents. Not because I don't want to, just because, I don't know. Yeah. I just haven't.
To be honest, like when I was starting, I almost had that fantasy of just like, I won't tell anybody until they find me on the internet already popular, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a cool way
I
to
mean,
go
I'd like for them to find it, you know what I mean? But, yeah, there's a couple reasons why I haven't told them, but none of them...
That's what I go through with like the average person. I ended up telling my parents just so they don't ask like just so I don't have to make an excuse for why I'm going
I
to
think
your
they kind of
house.
know because
Yeah.
they see me with a tripod and he brought
the
this table from his house. So every day we do a podcast,
Right.
he just be bringing up the table up the stairs.
I'm really surprised they just haven't asked.
They just
yet.
don't ask questions,
Right.
bro.
I respect it.
Yeah, they ask and I'll just say heroin, and it works. Can you believe that, bro? They're like, what do you not want to do? And we're just doing copious amounts of heroin, and then they're like, okay,
Next podcast episode.
yeah, but
That'd be cool.
it's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to hide it. Like if they find it, but I've told some of my friends, dude.
Really?
Like I don't know. I'm getting more. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more proud of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're not getting
Yeah.
a ton of views or anything like that, but we are getting some like comments of people who are like re-engaging,
Yeah, I
and
love
I
that.
really appreciate that.
I love you guys so
A couple
much.
of people like
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Seriously.
And then but we're not getting like thousands and thousands of views or anything, which is obviously expected. But I've been telling my friends, I'll be like, I'm making YouTube
Yeah.
videos, and then they think it's like, oh, he's just like making YouTube. But then when they see it's like the thumbnails and
Right.
they see actually highly edited stuff, like, oh, this is actually really good. And
It's
so
not just some random two kids making stupid videos.
they can see that
There's
we're
people out
trying.
there. Yeah.
I had somebody tell me that they were like, how the heck are you doing this? Like, how the heck are you uploading so much?
Yes,
And I'm like,
sir.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
I let it go to my head, bro. I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a good point. I mean, with college, it's hard to update.
Yeah, I mean, I think our pace of uploading is fine.
Mm.
Like, I think 16 pieces of content a week isn't like incredible. Alex Hormozy uploads, I think he said like 450 or something,
450 pieces of content,
which is
a week.
insane. I don't know if that's across. I hope it's across
Insane to
platforms,
me.
bro. But
Yeah.
but we
Wow.
we upload 16 pieces a week. 16 unique pieces a week, and which I don't think is awful. Like one pod
that's
a week,
great, yeah.
one vid a week, and 2 shorts a day. I don't think that's terrible.
I think that's great. Yeah, absolutely.
I think if we keep doing that for the next few years, I feel like it's not unreasonable to say we'll grow.
Yeah.
Like we are growing.
We're already growing.
We're growing. Like it's actually cool. I'm watching our podcast channel and our main channel
Yeah.
like race in subscribers.
It's insane, me
like
too.
the podcast one kind of like beat the main channel out for a little, and then the main channel they're actually tied. I think they're
The pod
60.
went great out of the gate, and then the channel's been catching up slowly. on its
Yeah,
own.
yeah. I
That's
think
awesome.
they're both at 60 subscribers right now.
I think this morning the pod was at 62 and the main was at 60.
Oh really?
Something like
the
that.
The pod's
yeah.
growing then.
Yeah,
So we're
so
gaining
cool,
like we're
man.
gaining subscribers. You know what I mean? Nothing. You guys will hear those low numbers, but I mean,
Right.
to us, it's a like low key.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean about like being proud of the work. 100%.
I'm proud of what we've
Yeah.
made, and so I'm not ashamed to tell people at all.
It's getting to the point where I don't actually like know what I'm gonna see when I open up YouTube Studio. Like something could blow up, man. That's gonna happen one of these times.
Yeah.
One of these times, there really is gonna be a video that's just gonna pop
Yeah,
off.
probably
And
not,
It's
yeah.
exciting, but it's also a little bit like nerve wracking to me.
You think? Really? Why?
Man, I don't know. It's just to see that, and I'm just like, wow, this thing is really real now.
I'll tell you what. I would rather have slow and steady growth than something pop off.
Right.
Because I feel like, which I don't even know if it's possible. Well,
I'll take
actually-
either, but you know.
Yeah,
Right.
listen. I'll take either. Please, just give
yeah,
me.
I'll take
No,
either.
but I'm saying like because I feel like slow and steady growth is more indicative of like everything we're doing is doing good rather than like one thing. Because I feel like if we pop off after one thing, it'd be harder to maintain that. And it's scary to me, like popping off and then like falling off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus like the slow and steady growth of how we want it to be.
Yeah, and I always see that with channels too. Of like they post a lot of stuff, and then they have one video that pops off, and they end up just focusing every video on that topic.
Which to a
and-
degree is a good idea.
It
Like,
is,
if you have
yeah.
something that pops off, you should try to reinvent it. You know what I mean? But if you make your entire channel that one
Right.
thing, listen, I have 60,
gonna be hard to grow.
120 subscribers across everything. But like, so don't listen to me. Like,
Right.
don't listen to me. What was that? Whatever.
I don't know, the Easter Bunny.
Don't listen to me. But I feel like I don't know. I lost my train of thought, bro. The Easter Bunny came. The Easter Bunny
Yeah.
came.
Just take everything we say with a grain of salt, basically.
But
But
bro,
we're just talking about our own progress. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exciting to me.
I know it really is. But bro, you're turning 20.
That's
pretty in a
scary
couple
to me.
days, dude.
I mean, you've been 20 for a while. How would you say it feels?
It's a weird age because you're not old enough to drink, but you're also not a teenager technically. So you're in a weird middle ground.
That's weird. I mean, I'm not trying to do anything too crazy for my birthday. That beach trip was even more than I was asking for. I don't expect to get them, but I did ask for these for my birthday. They're these like AR glasses, so you know the Apple Vision
Like the
Pros.
Ray-Bans ones?
Yeah,
Bro,
but
we can-
but better. You know what I mean? Does Ray-Bans have AR?
Yeah.
I saw they had the like speaker ones.
They have like a camera one. I don't know if they have AR.
Yeah, so I saw they had ones that have like a speaker that you can listen to music and you can record the stuff, but I never knew they had an AR one. I'm talking
I
about
don't know
one
if they have
where
AR either.
that has a monitor right here and you can have it
really?
like locked in place. You can like go get water and have
Wait,
the monitor
glasses?
stay. Yeah.
How much
the
are those? What the heck?
So they have like ranging prices. I'm looking for the really nice ones, like 500, 600. Like they're pretty pricey.
That sounds really cool.
But you can just connect to your phone or connect to your Xbox. You know what I mean?
Actually,
or you could be on your airplane and you can have your like computer down with your keyboard right here, just with your glasses. They have like full blacked out mode. Man, I could talk about it for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, they're so cool to me.
Wait, you can black out the glasses,
so
and not
people can't see through it, and you can't see out of them. So it's like full immersion. It's awesome.
But you can see like the sides and stuff. The light can still get in. That's really cool.
You can if you. I think you can, but it's really cool. They're called X-Real 1 Pros.
I've never heard of those.
Really? Oh, shout out to them.
Are they better than the Apple Vision Pros?
Well, so that I guess depends on what you could find better, because the Vision Pros are really expensive. I mean, they're a couple grand, aren't they? Yeah, which is what, 7 times
bro.
more?
My credit limit is conveniently $3,600. Like, I don't know.
Right, it's actually comparable to the Apple Vision Pros. I'll say the Vision Pros definitely have better quality, but they have the best quality in the world, pretty much. So you're not really
$3,600. I would hope so.
Right. I mean, they have like. I don't even remember the resolution, but it's freaking insane that the Vision Pro has. But it's got similar brightness, it's got similar battery. You know, it's got pretty much everything you need. I don't know. I'm excited.
Dude, speaking of like, you know how you said the black glasses go black? Dude, you ever like, you ever blink and then get scared of the dark, bro? Bro, this happened to me in class, bro.
Really?
I blinked and then I got afraid of the dark. I'm like, who turned the lights out, bro? Can you believe?
I like blink.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't know. I just blinked, bro. I was like, I like jumped out of my seat, or I didn't jump out of my seat, but I jumped, and people were looking at me weird.
That's
bro.
funny.
It was embarrassing.
That's funny. I love that. I love sleeping in class. That's one of my favorite things.
Have you ever slept in class? So yes.
Well,
yes.
I've fallen asleep a couple of times, but I just like laying my head down. I used to do that all the time.
In college or in high school?
High school. I guess.
Dude,
college is kind of weird. It's kind of like you're paying to be there. Why would you lay down?
Yeah.
Like why even go at that point? College, just stay home and sleep. You don't have to go.
Bro. Well, it depends. Yeah.
Not to interrupt you. I don't know if you were gonna say something.
No, you're good. It depends, because some professors will have you like write. I don't know, bro. I have one professor that like he's so, bro. Oh my goodness.
Oh god.
I could talk about this professor forever, but he has us do like an in-class assignment at the beginning of class every time, and then he just lectures for the entire time. And bro, I tried paying attention for a change to this professor, and I was like listening to what he was saying, and I was like, bro, I can't hear it. Like, I don't understand the words that you're saying. Right. He speaks in the most monotone voice and reads off the paragraphs on his slides. He's like, so the way that sociology works in you know what I'm saying? And it's not sociology. I saw that word on my screen. But my sociology professor is amazing. If you're watching this sociology professor at college, you're amazing.
Oh yeah. What's the class that you hate? Or the boring teacher?
I don't know if I should say it, because it's philosophy. I mean, they're not watching.
I got you. Yeah,
they're not watching. They're not watching. But it's philosophy.
It.
It's I don't know. It's just a tough hour and 15 to sit through. You know what I mean? It's the first class that I've ever walked out of midway. Really? I've never done it before. I've only done it once in my life, and it was in that class.
Yeah, I took philosophy online, and it's the same thing, except you're forced to read it, and I don't know if it's easier, man.
It's probably harder, to be honest with you.
It's harder to motivate yourself to do it, because it kind of gets it fed to you with the in class. But I like that class.
Yeah, dude. I think speaking of our audience, like we were talking earlier about our audience, they or it's growing. Like we're actually getting like recurring viewers and stuff, which is amazing. My appreciation is immense.
Yeah.
But dude, you still see on our comments on our wedgie episode, bro. They want us to get wedgied, bro. Y'all want us to get wedgied?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I read that and I'm like,
I mean, the amount of comments we've gotten compared to wedgies, compared to everything else, is like 50-50.
Can you believe it, bro?
Crazy proportion for YouTube.
Insane.
50% of our comments are about wedgies.
Asking us to get wedgied, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that would have to be a video or a short or something. It wouldn't be on the pod, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe like a 1 million subscriber special, guys.
1 million subscribers. We're at 60, brother.
Well, I mean, I don't want to do it.
Fine. 1 billion subscribers and we'll do it. All right, 1 billion likes.
It's like the Technoblade 10 million arm reveal. Or something.
He did, bro. He actually ended up doing it.
He did do it. I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Love that, dude. Rest in peace, Technoblade. Love you.
For real. Yeah,
bro.
cool.
But professors, like, You ever like listen to a professor talk and like tell the class to do something, but you're already doing it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm better than everybody else. Like, holy crap. Like, he's like, you guys should, like, there was one moment in particular in my economics class where he was like, you guys should study and write, because he gave us a note card to put like anything on. And so he's like, you guys should study and then write stuff on your note card so you know what you'll need. And I'm like, bro, I'm already doing that, bro. What you mean? Nice. Light work, no reaction, baby.
I see. So is that like a note card? Do they let you bring one in for a test?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's huge, dude. He lets us bring like a specific size note card in, and we can use it for the test. But I find that when I actually study for like assessments, I find that I just never use the note card.
Right.
Like, I never use it well.
I end up studying enough that I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. That's a pretty old tradition. I used to do that in colleges a lot. I haven't seen it in my colleges yet, but my dad used to have a class in his college where they were allowed to bring in a note card in the same. They always said you were allowed like a 3x5 note card, so everybody would bring something like this. There was one year that somebody brought a 3-foot by 5-foot note card.
Did
the teacher let them bring it in. They were like, you know what? So according to the rules, it was allowed.
I love professors like that.
Exactly. And then the next test they banned it, but they said like 3x5
I'm okay with that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm 100% okay with that.
I think that's hilarious.
That's so funny.
I love the malicious compliance like that.
Yeah.
Like, you force me to do this one thing, I'm gonna do it in a stupid way.
That is hilarious, bro. What the heck? Dude, you know what that reminds me of? And this is so unrelated. This is so unrelated, but that reminds me of something very interesting that I was thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm actually curious your opinion on this. I was watching, like a podcast talking about this, and I'm curious on your thoughts. This idea of functional alcoholism. It's so unrelated, but it reminded me of it. I'm like, because it's like, when do you know what that is, like being a functional alcoholic?
You can like live in society, but you're still addicted to alcohol.
Yeah,
right.
Like, do you think that that's problematic?
Yeah.
Why?
Now, I don't think that it's the end of the world for the people. I mean, it's just it's a hard situation because they enjoy drinking, but also it's most of the time. I mean, drinking's not very good for you. That's known. I mean, it's illegal, but it's not very good for you.
Wait, what do you mean illegal?
No, it's legal. I'm saying like it's illegal, which is kind of surprising to me compared to everything else that is illegal.
Me too.
But that's a whole different conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, it's not the end of the world day to day, but from what I've seen, it causes stress in people's lives. But honestly, I feel like I'm too young to really see the full effects of functional alcoholism in my life and other people's lives. You know, like my family at least I haven't seen many of my family have too many bad alcohol problems, or at least they've kept it quiet. So I haven't really had too much experience in how that can, like stress somebody's life. And so I don't know how that goes. I mean, I feel like a lot of the functional, like the actual true definition of like a lot of the functional alcohol people out there, what's the word?
Alcoholics?
Yeah, all of the functional alcoholics, like they'll have a drink or two and you won't notice it. So you'll talk to them and you won't notice it throughout the day, but they know it. They know that they've had a drink or two. And I think that's kind of the majority of the functional alcoholics out there probably is the people who just feel like they need a drink or two throughout the day. And they're not getting drunk, but they feel like they need a drink to perform the same level that they normally do.
It's interesting because it's like, I've seen it happen kind of on two different sides. It's like on one coin, like alcoholism can like ruin people's lives, and literally, like, it's why I'm very afraid of alcohol. I've seen it on multiple like unrelated, like first-hand experience of like unrelated people where it just literally ruined their lives. Like, it just completely, like, I see them from afar, and like sometimes I'm close to them, like it just completely ruins their lives. And I don't think that would be functional alcoholism. I think that's just alcoholism. And then functional alcoholism, what I think is like you're just still living life while drinking. That's what I mean, audience, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it literally is just you're living your life and drinking at the same time. Yeah. And so obviously there's health consequences to that. Like, drinking every single day isn't good for you. Exorbitantly drinking every day is probably not good for you. But if it doesn't, if it isn't affecting your life negatively, well, okay. Beyond the health issues, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a health issue. But beyond that, if it's not affecting your life negatively every single day, like, I don't know, dude.
And that's kind of that's kind of the hardest part about quitting is that it doesn't destroy your life all in one day. Like if it destroyed your life in one day, you wouldn't do it. But because it doesn't really hurt you that much, you continue to do it day by day.
So do you think functional alcoholism is more dangerous on like a long enough time horizon than normal alcoholism?
Right, and so disregarding the health issues.
There's a health issue.
Of course,
disregarding that.
But I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world. As in, I kind of have the mindset of like everybody has a vice. Everybody has their thing that they go to, and so it's not that. What was I gonna say? I mean, it's essentially like. I honestly lost my train of thought, but I'm just scared of like the dependency. As in, if they weren't to have alcohol, how would they feel and how would they perform
like
during
being
the day?
dependent on anything is a bit of a scam.
Yeah, you could put it that way.
Dr. Kashi, who's a big friend of Alex Hormozy's.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Is he on YouTube?
He is on YouTube, but he doesn't get many views. I only know him because Alex Hormozy talks about him a lot. I think he's a big friend of Alex Hormozy's. I think he talks about what a scam is, and it's like if you remove it, your life gets worse. You know what I mean? And so it's like the alcohol in that situation would kind of be a scam because when you remove, it's like take morning routines for example. I mean, there's a big thing on like social media right now of like the morning routine and everything. The mouth tape and all that, the nose strips, which I started wearing. I started wearing the nose strips before they were stupid. You can attest.
And during.
And
I'm sorry.
So as I was saying, Alexander, cut that. I didn't answer. Just cut that. Like I was saying, like the morning routines, like the 2-hour morning routine, if you remove it, your life doesn't go back to baseline, it gets worse. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, because like I can't function unless I do my 4-hour sauna or whatever, you know what I mean? And so I think that is a big problem because you're not always going to be in a perfect environment with perfect stimulus to do that thing. And when you're removed from it, you don't fall back to baseline, your baseline decreases. And now you're like, no bueno. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's dangerous. Being reliant on anything is, other than like food, water, you know what I mean, is very, very dangerous. And even like, you could define food and water as a scam too, where it's like if you remove it, your life gets worse. But there's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean?
Right. Other than the necessities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting definition. It's very, very broad.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it doesn't work with everything ever, but I just thought it was interesting to bring up.
Yeah, and you said Dr. Kashi on...
Yeah, Dr. K, I think his full is Dr. Kashi. I'm not 100% sure.
I got you.
But yeah, he's, Alex Hormozy approved, so he must be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what was a scam again?
What did he say?
No, what were we talking was a scam?
Alcohol?
That's right.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, if you removed it,
It's also interesting, like, how you respond to, because a lot of like when it's not functional alcoholism and it's just alcoholism and people are treating the alcoholic or is treating you poorly, it's like how do you respond to that? It also brings up something separate where it's like you have to, this kind of concept of like the world is, you can't change the world but you can change your response to the world versus you staying stoic to how the world is, you know what I mean? I'm curious what you think about like how should somebody see the world as immovable and I'm the only movable thing and I can move or respond to the world, or does that make sense?
Can you elaborate?
Okay, so I'm curious what you think on if
how much should I try to change?
So you can't change everybody else's behavior, but you can change your behavior in response to their behavior. You know what I mean? Or staying stoic in your behavior and expecting everybody to change, or maybe not expecting, but people needing to change around your behavior to fit you. Does that make sense? Like the two sides of the coin? I'm curious what you think about that.
So what would be the two sides there? One is...
you change as a result of everybody else's behavior, or you stay stoic in your behavior and everybody else has to change to you.
Oh, okay. I see. I personally am more on the adaptable side of I change a lot compared to the people that I'm with, and when I was younger, I didn't really see that as a good thing, but as I get older, I realize that that's actually, I feel like for the most part, that's totally fine. Is to adapt to the people you're with, and I'm also kind of a big proponent on if something is going like truly wrong, especially with the people around you, then you should leave that situation. You should stand up for yourself. And so I would be, I'd say I'm more on the adaptable side of like I'm going to change a lot for the people around me, but I'm big on like you got to stand up for yourself if those things are wrong. If they're not, you shouldn't just change to accept every bad thing about somebody, you know, but there's a certain point to where you should head out. So probably more on the former side, but I don't know what would be considered right. You know, that's kind of just for me. I mean, what would you say you are on the side of the coin?
I think that there's like predetermined values, and if somebody that you should have as a person should whatever as a person, and then if somebody is in conflict with those values, which is usually like two or three that are really important to you,
Right.
then you should stay stoic. But if they're not, like if they're just being a little bit annoying, it's like what's gonna net me the best outcome here? Me yelling at them or me just being like whatever? You know what I
Right.
mean? Changing my behavior as a result of them. So I think it truly does depend on the situation, but I think for me, I have predetermined values that if somebody crosses, that's going to be like a hit to the relationship.
Yeah.
And then it depends on like the depth of it. Like if I've known somebody for like 5 years, then it's like okay, you annoy me once, you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? But it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It kind of
sorry.
also with the predetermined values thing. It kind of is also like something that's really hard for me is like, especially when I'm like designing systems for myself, which we've talked about. Like James Clear talks about this. Like you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems, and so you're only as good as the work that you put in. And then the ambition kind of means nothing without work. That's kind of how I think about it. And so it's like
Love that line.
creating your it's literally changed my life when I read it. Creating your systems to like net you the best outcome, whatever that outcome is for you. Whether it's like I want to be a great parent, I want to run a business, whatever it is. And then it's also like you don't want to strive for perfection either. You know what I mean? Because then you'll never be satisfied. But I'm curious what you think about like should you strive for perfection as a directional axis? Despite the fact that you know you'll never reach it, because that might be able to make you go further than it would striving for a goal than hitting the goal. You know what I mean? But then it's also like you'll never be content. So I'm curious what you think about that.
Yeah, so I don't really, and this is sort of for a reason, but I don't really have a definition of what perfect even is. I try to be the best that I can be in day to day, but I don't really see, like I don't even know what a perfect version of me would be. Because I don't even know how I'd feel when I got to there. Because that version of me isn't the same me that it is now. You know what I mean? That's a whole different person. And my values change, and I just don't see things as perfect. I'm scared that going for perfection is going to lead somebody to just too far on that path. You know, because you're not going to reach it. You may reach a point where you're like, I'm content with this. It's not really going to get too much better. But I just don't see perfect people out there. That doesn't exist in my mindset.
Yeah.
And so I do the best that I can do day to day, but I don't try to strive for perfection. You know what I mean? I'm okay with making mistakes.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not going to say that I'm not. I think that's crazy to say.
Yeah. The way that I would define a goal is a directional axis. So it's like, where are you pointing? And so when I used to be in the Christian space heavily, I was like, my directional axis is Jesus. Where I'm pointing is Jesus. And I strive, I'm not a Christian anymore, but when I was a Christian, I was saying things like, I strive to be like Jesus. And despite the fact I know that I will never be able to get there because Jesus is, quote, perfect,
Right.
me attempting to get there, I will be able to go further than I would achieving a goal and stopping. And I've kind of maintained that mindset throughout, where it's like through my kind of rejection of the pulling away from the faith a little bit, it's like what's my ideal version of myself, and I can try as hard as I can to get there.
How close can I get to that?
Yeah, but also you'll never be content with yourself, which I don't think is good. Like I don't want to live my life like that, and so you have to be like striving for perfection, but also okay with failure at the same time.
Right.
And so it's an interesting line, because it's interesting because when you look at Olympic athletes who win gold, like they're like, I think it's like almost the majority of them, or if not the majority of them, get like super depressed after they win gold, because like you tried climbing this super high mountain, and then once you got there, you looked over the mountain, you realized it was just a bigger mountain to climb. You know what I mean? And it's interesting.
Right. Like what next?
Yeah. So it's like if you hit a goal and then you achieve the goal, it's like, well, what next? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely say that. Like, it's. I heard this saying from, I believe, Jordan Belfort. He was like, I think it was him. But it's better to make a goal too high and not achieve it than to make a goal too low and hit it. You know what I mean? And so I definitely see what you mean about, it's okay to look for that ideal version of yourself, and maybe that's different than a perfect version of yourself. But it's good to look for that ideal version of yourself and be like, how close can I get to this? Not being sad with not getting it, but being happy with how far you've gotten towards it. You know what I mean? So I think that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, and then it's also tough to like not compare yourself to others.
Yeah,
especially in this social. Like
that's rough.
I would I know it's really hard. I would hear people say this a lot. Like Instagram is people are only uploading their best moments.
100%.
And I didn't really believe it until I saw it firsthand. Of like these people who have like these perfect lives on Instagram really don't. You in real life, I mean, obviously, you know what I mean. But you really don't. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting. You only compare yourself to everybody else's best moments.
When you get older, you realize these people are the exact same person as me. Like they're not that different than me. They don't have this perfect life. They're not waking up at 3 a.m. every day. And maybe they are. I'm making fun of those morning routine videos. So I don't know if you've seen those.
Of course, I was talking about it earlier.
That one guy like puts his face in
the super expensive water. With the mouth tape and everything.
What's the mouth tape even for? I don't get that.
What is it? I don't know. I think it's a bit of a. I'm pretty sure it's a scam, but so you breathe through your nose, like jawline health.
Or just a fad, yeah.
Jawline health or something. I don't know. It's like you got the nose strip, moving your nose out, and the mouth tape.
Yeah.
You're spending like.
You're not gonna be able to breathe.
You're spending $100 just going to sleep every night. I don't know, but it's whatever.
I mean, if it works for you guys and it makes it better, if it makes it easier to sleep, then it makes it easier to sleep.
True.
I have nothing to
I
say.
kind of want to try it at one point. You know what I mean? Just to like see how it is.
I mean, I don't want to.
Well, apparently you can still breathe through it.
Oh, really? Well, what's the point then? I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I always thought that like it fully like forced you to breathe through your nose. I thought that was the point.
I think I hear people like breathing through it.
You hear people? Oh, like
on TikTok,
on the videos,
like they show that they can breathe through it.
Interesting.
I don't know, dude.
That's sketchy. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
I just need a pillow and a blanket, and that's it.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. And a couch.
I'm
and
glad
a nice
Boy
couch.
Scouts taught me that.
Yeah.
And a couch.
You know what the it's some crazy technology that those mouth tapes are.
Right.
You know what else is some crazy technology?
What's that?
Bro, you know how we are like inventing like quantum computing and stuff, and like all of these amazing things. We detected like the slim possibility of life on other planets. A couple.
Apparently, we're teleporting now.
Yeah, we're teleporting now, and all these amazing things. Technology has grown so far, but do you know what? All of the scientists together can't figure out how to make right.
What's that?
A consistently working ice cream machine, bro. I swear, I have never seen an ice cream machine not out of order in my life, bro. With all these technological advancements we've been doing, how is it that we still don't have a consistent ice cream machine?
Your college doesn't have
Bro,
one?
I wrote this topic down as I was looking at the broken ice cream machine in my dining hall, bro. It hasn't been open all semester.
You know what's crazy is my McDonald's ice cream machine actually does work at my college.
Really?
Yeah, it does. It's the only one I've ever seen that has it. Sometimes it works. Like, if you go in there, it's like a 50-50, but sometimes it actually gets you.
Like, how has technology advanced so far, but we just don't have working ice cream machines, bro?
Know.
Like, I just want some ice cream. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I don't know about your college, but I've heard from a couple of employees at McDonald's that a lot of times that is working. They just don't want to make you one because it's just a lot of work to go through it. So maybe it is a whole scam industry out there. The ice cream industry.
That's why we need AI robots, bro, just to do it for us.
AI
you know
robots, yeah. I mean, if they can fix the ice cream machine, then I'm all for AI.
Then they can fix anything, bro.
Yeah,
if they can fix AI, that's what I'm saying, bro. Let the AI revolution come.
Yeah, exactly.
But dude, speaking of employees on like campus and stuff, I feel like so this is a little bit of a story. I at the beginning of the semester there was this new guy working at this convenience store that I go to every Thursday for dinner because it's like in between classes and I'm chilling. And so and he was very friendly. And he was like, he asked for my name and stuff, and I was like, this is, weird. I'm just not really an employee that's nice to me. And I was like, great. And, he told me his name. I don't remember it, but he told me it. And then we, I would see him again and we would talk. And slowly, he started getting less and less talkative until the end of the semester now, where it's like I see him walking up and he's like, order. Bro, him working there for one semester defeated his morale,
His first
bro.
customer service job.
Yeah, dude, like, dining hall environments, like, for college campuses,
Yeah.
I don't think they're very good.
Really?
Like, I saw a sign in my dining hall once that's, like, kind of hidden. It was just for the employees. It said, like, no phones under any conditions, period. They spelt out the word period and then put a period at the end. I'm like, bro.
Why?
Like, I can't imagine that it's a very good environment to be working.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that nice. But, I mean, if they're on their phones rather than fixing the ice cream machine, then maybe they get to work.
Dude, shoot. Yeah.
I'm kidding, obviously.
Get them on there. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can't be making a lot of money either.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, this generation that we're in right now, I was reading a statistic about this. We're statistically going to be the first generation that makes less than our predecessing generation.
I'm not surprised.
Which is wild.
I'm not surprised. Less as in spending power, as less as in literal salary?
Just salary, or just like
Jesus.
amount of money made. Like, I think the average right now is like $3 million over your life. Like,
Really?
the average for, I think, like a college graduate with a bachelor's is like they make $3 million lifetime money.
Oh, okay. College. Okay.
With a bachelor's, and I think master's is like 3.9, and I think the doctorate is like 4 or 5. Fact check me, obviously. But I think it's less for our generation than it was for our last generation on average.
That's insane to me.
With all those Bitcoin millionaires out there, bro, how's that possible?
Yeah. Well, that's scary to me because it's not just that, like, spending power. Because my parents make $50K a year and they buy a house, and I make $100K a year, and it's like equal the same. You know what I mean? Like, so it's the same in terms of spending
I think it
power.
did account for inflation.
Okay.
What I was reading.
Okay.
So I think it is. We're just like making less money. Jesus. I think it's because people are doing what we're doing, which is just trying to be YouTubers and stuff, bro. And it was really scary because I was looking. Honestly, I was kind of afraid because I was looking at a YouTube channel who's been uploading for years. Like, I think they were uploading for like 12 years,
Wow.
and they had like 4,000 videos uploaded. And only like 500 subscribers. And I'm like, I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know you could try so hard and still fail. You know what I mean? Like, it's very scary to me. Like, we could just try as hard as we can.
He was trying out different stuff and everything too?
Why don't I didn't check that close. My assumption is he didn't innovate and he just did the same thing that wasn't work. Would be my assumption, but who knows? But or he has like a loyal 500 subscribers and he makes a business off of that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But
could be that.
It's really scary to me because like we could upload for like 10 years and just fail. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's scary.
Yeah, I guess it would be what would you consider a failure at that point? We'd have to set our own growth metrics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that is scary. I don't know about this right here being the problem of America's economy, but
the podcast.
Yeah. Everybody like doing stuff like this,
You don't think?
I think it's more a symptom than a cause.
What do you think's the cause?
I don't know, man. That's
Give me some guesswork, bro.
All right, sure. I mean, I feel like we've talked a lot about what capitalism has gone through in the couple hundred years of America, but it's a long conversation. I wouldn't go through it right now. That's some type of stuff that you'd have to like study for, man. Like,
okay.
I feel honestly, I was looking back. The only reason I say this is because I look back at the podcast, and sometimes I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm talking about right there. I'm just winging it and trying to sound confident. So I'm trying to be like, okay, honestly, I don't like, I'm not confident enough to answer this question. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And so it's rough.
That's fair.
Yeah. I was like, but we were talking earlier. This a bit change up, but I was telling you about the beach trip, and you were saying that you just didn't enjoy the beach. Why? Well, that doesn't make any sense because you were saying you said you went to the beach last, and you went to a ropes course. Like you didn't even go to the beach. You just went to a ropes course. Why do you hate the beach?
I don't know, bro. Well, because I went to the beach. I saw a ropes course, and I spent the whole time at the ropes course and didn't go to the beach.
Right.
And then we went to a beach trip, and I just didn't go to the beach. But
yeah.
I don't know, bro. It's just boring.
Okay.
Like you get there, you it's relaxing for like 20 minutes, and then it's like.
So do you need more action? What would your ideal vacation
I mean,
be?
I like doing things, and I think I also just don't like the beach. Like I'm more of like I don't know. I just like doing more. Like I don't.
I'll see.
Like relaxing on vacations, if that makes sense.
Crazy.
Like I like doing things, like I don't know. I just like
Understand
like
that.
doing things.
So I'll
I like
ask this then:
more
of
action-packed.
everything you've done so far, what would be your favorite vacation?
We went to Hawaii. That was really fun. We did like a
Nice.
helicopter ride and things. It was really, really fun. And
That's
then
awesome.
there was obviously a lot of beach time at Hawaii, but there was
Yeah.
like a lot of in between too, which was really, really good.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like doing things. I'm not a big. Can I be honest? Like I don't like vacations that much in general. Like I'm very blessed. I've been able to go on multiple in my life.
Right.
But I'm just not like if. I would rather just like if I'm not gonna like if I like worked a traditional job and I to just take time off.
Yeah.
I would just like take time off and just
2 weeks on
sit,
TikTok.
like sit at home for like like 5 days or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that to me would be more rejuvenating than a vacation.
I feel that, man. Sometimes I feel bad saying that because I'm just like, if I really wanted to do what I wanted to do today, I would just sit at home on my phone and do nothing.
I used to feel bad about it too, but it's just like if
that's what I
that's what I
want.
want to do, that's what I want to do. And then a lot of I've told that to different people, and they're like, come on, you gotta like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I enjoy
Right.
going out and going on trips with friends and family. I just wouldn't call it a vacation because it expends energy. And so I feel like rest from the trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to rest from the vacation. I have to take like, and I think that's a little bit silly. Like I would rather, if I need the break, then I would just take like a day or two, which I do. Like when I need breaks, I take like a, day and a half.
And from what I've learned, going on vacations where you just don't do anything for a couple of weeks does not make you want to work again. Like when you come back
People are
finally.
like, yeah.
If you're actually going out there and doing activities and stuff, then you'll want to, maybe not want to, but you'll feel a little bit more inclined to go back to work, and it's a little bit more okay. That's just what I've seen.
Yeah, me too.
How true that is.
I usually do, like if I really am burnt out, a good strategy for me, so I mean you guys can try this, take it or leave it, and I guess
I might try it.
Yeah, apparently I don't know much. Apparently I'm working less now than I will ever in the rest of my life. So I've been told by multiple different people, so don't listen to me. But
that's scary.
I know.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, because how many hours in the day? Like, there's only 24 hours, but like am I sacrificing sleep? But so the strategy I do is if I am burnt out, I will take a day's rest. I will wake up early on a day, because a lot of people are like, okay, I'll sleep in and then take the rest of the day. Like, no, wake up at like 6:30, which is early for me, and then take the day of rest, and then sleep in the next day, and then get to work. And so you get like a day and a half's worth of not working, but you get to actually experience the day of not working. Because I find when I wake up at like midday, then it's like, okay, well, half the day's already gone. I'm only going to rest for like half the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'll take a full day, 6:30 to like whenever I decide to go to sleep, to rest, and then I will sleep in until like 10, 11, 12, and then get to work the same day.
That's smart.
That's what works for me. It really, and then it just rejuvenates me.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean about like waking up in the middle of the day. It just
Then you
makes
only have
your
like
day
6
feel
hours
off.
of, you know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
It's getting dark already. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good way to. I might actually try that. To be honest.
You should.
That's really smart.
It kind of changed. It changed a lot for me. It was super interesting. But I have a question for you.
Sure.
So I was in my sociology class, and I was. We were talking. It's like a natural disaster sociology class, and so they were talking about like resilience in natural disasters, and so the people who survive terrifying events, whether they're natural or non-natural, to them it's like a turning point in their life, and they'll talk about it in situations that have nothing to do with it, because it's changed their life. Like it's changed them fundamentally as a person. And so I'm curious, in your life, it doesn't have to be a natural disaster, obviously, but what are some moments that you find that you talk about in social settings that have nothing to do with that social setting, but are defining moments of your life that you keep coming back to in different unrelated experiences? Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you have an example, go for it.
For me, it was deciding on the work that I'm doing. So for me, I spent a lot of time like doing different like business endeavors or whatever, and then once I finally decided on the thing that I actually wanted to do, and I'm like trying to achieve it, and I've been trying to achieve it for a while, that was a big turning point for me. And like, I don't need.
What was the event?
I wasn't deciding.
Okay.
Deciding on the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be like a crazy event, you know what I mean? It was just deciding on the thing that's kind of changed how I am. Like, there's like a confidence that I have about myself, knowing that when I watch a YouTube video, or when people are talking about like these business things they're doing. It's like, I don't need to do that.
Right.
Like, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say one of them for me is not actually moving into the dorm, but moving into my apartment was a big one for me, where I'm living on my own now. Like, I have my own life in front of me. There's nobody else to tell me what's gonna happen. You know, there's not even like, this is my own room. Like, there's no RA that'll come knock on my door in the middle of the week anymore. So that was a big turning point for me, was moving into the apartment with my boys. And I'm probably the same for them too.
Sick, dude. Speaking of my dorm, dude, you know what I see happen all the time in my dorm that blows my mind,
What's
bro?
that?
I see people walking. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
No, walking with their phone out, they be just scrolling through TikTok while walking with no earbuds in, and I'm like, oh, how are you not tripping and dying? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm pretty good. People are pretty good at walking.
Can you?
Like,
I don't know how, dude. I'll be on my phone while walking. I just like immediately trip.
Really? I'm really good at it. That's a skill I have. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's
I'm
crazy.
natural. But do you guys have like RAs on your floors?
We do. They don't really.
Have you ever talked
I don't
to
think
them?
I've never met my RA, to
Really?
be honest with you. Like,
No, sorry. My first dorm, I remember. I met the RA on the first week, and he moved out, and I never saw him for the rest of the entire. Yeah. Then no RA moved in for a good like half the semester.
yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure we
It's
have an
hilarious.
RA. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I know it's a girl. I've never met her.
I mean, you're not the type to piss him off, anyways. So.
No, not really.
Yeah. Right.
But you know, so what I found like the coolest about college is like you go to like this dorm, this little box or whatever, the campus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your brain like it's like a Minecraft map.
This is your
like
world.
your brain slowly unlocks new locations once you see them, and then now you know for the rest of the time you're there's a bathroom if I go in that room and turn right. You know what I'm saying?
I wish.
What you mean?
I'm so directionally challenged,
my
dude. It is
goodness,
seriously
bro.
a problem. I'm not kidding. I've got some skills like walking on my phone, but I've got some skills I'm not good at, like directions. Truly, I just don't remember them. I'll check on my phone, nearest bathroom. Bathrooms near me.
Bathrooms near
And
me.
I'm checking on like the map of the college. I'm like, I'm here, and I need to get up here.
I can on the physical map. You're like,
Yeah, I'm like holding it, and like 30 seconds later, I flip it, and I'm just like, oh. Oops.
It's like, oh wait, this is the wrong
Yeah,
school. Hold on,
exactly.
let me get something different out. It's funny. What the heck?
But that also could be. I mean, nowadays I'm also like on an off-campus apartment, so I'm not living in the
True.
campus itself.
But your campus is relatively small.
I don't know. I only really have like 2 or 3 metrics to base that on. Like yours is a pretty big college, isn't it? Like yeah. I won't say too much, but it's pretty good college.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
I don't want to use that word. Big. You know what I mean? It's big. It's a pretty big sized.
So I guess you can say mine's small, but is it really? It's average. It's average size.
Above average, some would say. Above average.
Some would say. Yeah, but it's really nice. I like the campus. Like, I like that size. I don't see the reason why it should be any bigger.
Yeah, dude.
I guess more buildings, but
yeah, dude.
yours is bigger and it's still more cramped.
Yeah, there's just so many people. Yeah, dude. I was cutting my nails the other day, bro. I was just going off cutting my nails. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, bro, I spent 3 weeks procrastinating cutting my nails, bro. And it literally took 5 minutes. Like, when is a time in your life that you've spent so long procrastinating doing a thing and then you did it and you're like, wait, that was a non-issue. It took 5 minutes.
Oh, like literally. That's day to day, bro. I mean, right now I'm supposed to cut my hair. I've been supposed to cut my hair for 3 weeks. You can see how crazy it is now. All I have to do is text the person like, "Hey, I need an appointment," and of course she'd be like, "Yeah, I'd love to," because she wants my money. All I gotta do is just text, but I haven't done it yet.
Really?
Yeah, man. I have a problem with some of that. Like, I'll wait on something and then I'll get it done. I'll realize, dude, that took 5 minutes. Well, what's wrong with you? You know, you could have done that at any time. And so I've been trying to think of that beforehand. Like, you realize when you're done with it, you're gonna realize how easy it is. And then I realized, like, if I just push myself to start it, then 99% of the time I'll end up finishing it off. So you don't have to push yourself to do the whole thing. Just push yourself to start the thing, and you realize how easy it is midway through. You know, hopefully.
So it's like you're front loading the pain, kind of,
Yeah,
or no, you're front loading the pleasure you'll feel at the end of it.
Or it's sort of not seeing it as this big gray dark cloud in your future. You're seeing it as this. You just have to start it, and then by the time you get there, it's like saying you don't want to go to the gym, just push yourself. Say, go to the gym, do a couple sets. If you still hate it, go home.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to the gym and you do a couple sets, you're going to do a couple more sets.
It's
in my
interesting.
opinion.
I've heard a lot of people say that. Does that really work for you?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell myself, I'm just going to go to the gym. I'm going to do a couple sets. So that I go to the gym and I end up doing a full workout.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me a lot just by getting in there.
Interesting.
And then I don't see it as this big, crazy, like big thing I have to do.
Yeah.
I just have to go to the gym and stretch.
Do you do that in other parts of your life too, or just the gym?
Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
What
Yeah.
other parts?
Like take like an essay in college, for example. Like I have an English essay due in 2 weeks or so. It's this big essay I have to do. Like, oh crap, I have to do 8 pages of an essay. Just start an intro. You don't have to write anything. Just write a thesis. And when I finish writing the thesis, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what I want to write about now. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I can write about this. I can write about this. Just start it, and you realize it's not too crazy and just
It's interesting.
Yeah. And I know, I remember you talked about something a little bit similar on a podcast, a episode or two ago, where you kind of, I don't remember exactly your mindset on it, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, it's just mine's kind of the exact opposite.
Right, that's what because when you talked about it on the pod, I was just like, interesting. I had the opposite view, but
I don't remember exactly what I was talking about. What I'm thinking about now is like I try to front load. So I do this a lot when I'm trying to wake up early, because I wake up early a lot. Not because I like to. I actually hate it. And so when I'm in bed, I try to like front load the pain and back load the joy that I'll feel. So I will front load the pain. So I will know. I think like if I don't get out of bed, bro, I'm gonna be like, I think about that, and this works for me. If it doesn't work for you, whatever. But I think about like if I'm gonna have to walk around the rest of the day knowing that I slept in today. You know what I mean? And that's gonna suck. And so I try to front load the pain of how I will feel if I do sleep in, and that makes me want to wake up.
I see. Okay, I get that. Like so taking like the gym example, you're front like as in imagine how you'd feel tonight if you didn't go to the gym.
A big one for me is like I'm gonna have to walk around and talk to people knowing that I skipped the gym today.
Yeah,
like
I definitely feel that too. I don't
know. And so I try as much as I can, just like make it feel as worse as you can, because pain's a really good motivator. Like they've done studies on this, and so if I am feeling pain now, I will act. And then if I'm feeling versus if I think about the happiness that I feel staying in my warm, comfy sheets, I'm probably gonna, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's at least what works for me.
Yeah. I wouldn't really call it opposite. I mean, yours is more of the joy or pain you'd feel after, and that's kind of like just getting there in the first place.
Yeah.
But.
See, I've tried using that mindset, and I just don't be acting, bro, when I do that. I don't know why.
I understand. That really shows just whatever works for you.
It literally, bro. It's the same output. It's whatever works for you, works for you.
It's insane. It can be completely opposite things. Not that those two.
Yeah, I guess those aren't really opposite. They're just different.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Use both.
True. Yeah. It's like I used to think I would need like one big motivator to do a thing. Or maybe not motivated, but reason to do a thing. And then I've kind of over time developed this thing that I call frame stacking, where it's like rather than giving one reason to do a thing, I'll give like multiple frames to do a thing. I'll be like, this reason, like I'll stack so many reasons, and I'll like overwhelm myself and be like, okay, all right, buddy, I'll do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And this is all in your mind? You're thinking about this stuff, or do you ever write this down?
I don't write it down. It's all in my mind. I used to write it down, but then I just stopped. I don't know.
Yeah. My notes are just too scattered to do it. It's hard for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It slows down my thinking process, I feel like.
I used to journal a little bit, but I stopped doing that. I kind of want to start again, because I actually enjoy. It doesn't really help me, but I do enjoy like looking back at what I was thinking in that time.
Really?
But it doesn't help me like that much. But no, so I develop like these frames for myself. Like one of them is like screw your feelings. You know what I mean? Like just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to do it. And that was a big one for me until it like would work, and then it would stop working. Which this is me, right? This is just my choices. And then it would never work again, quote, right? And then I would make other frames that would work, never work again, quote. Like another one for me was barriers, which only I understand. But I just say barriers, and I do a thing, barriers, I do a thing, and then it doesn't work. But like when I say I don't have to feel something and barriers and 3 other frames, it's more reason to do a thing. So it's like having more than one reason why has been really helpful for me. Of just like I just call it frame stacking. Like just stack a bunch of reasons to do it.
Your mind is an enigma, man. I love hearing about it.
I don't even know what enigma means, bro.
There's always something going on. I love it. Like just the way that you structure your mind, and the way that you can try to like, you have a goal and you have the systems to get to that goal. I respect that so
Thank you.
much.
I appreciate
That's awesome
that.
to me.
I really appreciate
Sometimes
that.
when I talk to you, I'm like, damn, my mind really is just scattered throughout the day. Maybe I do have ADHD. Cause,
I mean, I don't know,
that's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It seems like it
try.
pushes, yeah.
I try.
Absolutely.
It's
No, sorry. I was just gonna say, would you say you enjoy it, doing all the systems?
yeah. Enjoy. So that's an interesting.
It's a hard way to.
Yeah.
Put it, but
I do.
I guess being good for you and enjoying it are two
the
different
systems.
things.
The reason that it's not like there isn't like a one size fits all in my experience. It's like what works for me really doesn't work for somebody else, and so it's really about finding the systems that are going to work for you and that you can stick to. And so for me, what works for me is developing time systems. Like I will do this for X amount of time.
Interesting.
Like so, my normal system for a day is like 4 hours of work, 30 minutes of what's it called, like Bible, like research on like scriptures and Christianity and stuff, and then 20 minutes just reading a book. And you're like, okay, well, 30 minutes, 20, it's not a lot of time. But when you stack it over 6 months to a year, it's substantial.
Right.
It's very substantial. And then unfortunately, you can't do that with work. You have to do a bunch of work. And so I try, but that's like my day systems.
Are there other systems other than time?
Not really, not for me. I used to try to systemize social stuff, but then I found that gets a little ambiguous, you know, because you can't really predict. And so I just kind of like do that when I want. And then I used to try to systemize school with like time, but then I felt like I'd be like 2 hours of school a day. But then I found I would like finish my schoolwork for the week in like an hour 30, and I'm okay, what do I do?
It's too variable. Either you have a crap ton of work in college, or you kind of just get it all done.
And then it's like you can front load the schoolwork, but then it's like you're not going to class to learn the stuff to then do the schoolwork. And so it's like I'm just like, do it before it's due.
Yeah.
I was like, do it before it's due. And then
that's how I do it, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what works for me. I mean, I also had to like build up to it. Like I started with like 2 hours of work, nothing else. And then slowly over, I mean, if you want to know how I really, I started like failing all my classes, right? And then I started like going to school class, doing schoolwork in like high school. And then you slowly have to start building up.
Yeah.
And I hope that, you know, in like 2-3 years, I'm going to be significantly more than I do now. And it gets to a point where it's like increasing the amount of time isn't the answer. Because if I do more than like about an hour of like I call them like my dailies, like my, you know, like Christianity, religion research, and like reading a book or like trying to learn something new, it gets to the point where it becomes a little bit like the morning routine where it's like, okay, we're spending 3 hours, like let's get to work. You know what I mean? This isn't moving the ball. This is more for me.
And so you think there's a point where like making
there's a point where it becomes. I used to do 2.5 hours of dailies, and that got to a point where it's like, okay, this is like. It isn't a willpower thing. It's I don't have enough time in my day to do other stuff. That's
I'm curious. Was that spread out throughout the day, or was that all 2.5?
I'd do it. So I'd wake up and just like knock them out like 2.5. But it got to the point where it's like, okay, my day starts at like 12 in the mid. Like you know what I mean. And so, I just cut it to 2 over the summer, and then 1, and then I cut an extra 10. I did something else for another 10, but I was like, okay, this is a little bit stupid, and so I'm just 50 minutes right now, and I'm happy with that. It compounds, you know. In a day, it doesn't do much, but like over months and months and months, it compounds. And I think of it like a game too. It's fun.
Yeah, if you recorded it, you would have made the trend, man. That could have been you making those morning routine videos.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really helps me. Like everything I know about like worldview, religion, all that is a result of the systems. The work is obviously a result. Like the reason that we can output, I would say, above average to what other people our age output for YouTube. I think that's fair to say. Maybe not.
But I don't know who's tracking those metrics.
I don't know either, but I think it's fair to say, who knows, is a result of the systems. You know what I mean?
I'm curious, would you say if you had to choose only one, do you think it's more important to have a morning routine or a nightly routine?
I truly think it depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
It depends on the person. Like I don't really have a morning routine. With the dailies, it's like whenever I can get it done. It depends if I have class or not. I don't know. I really think it depends on the person. Like whatever works for you, whatever increases your subjective well-being. You know what I mean?
That's probably the answer for honestly most of the stuff we talked about.
Whatever increases your subjective.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, it's also like a lot of people don't want to start a business. They don't want to work as hard as they possibly can, which I don't either, by the way. You know what I mean? It's like, which is perfectly fine. Like you just live your life the way you want to live it. Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think.
Ask us 2 years ago, we would have such a different
answer.
Oh
yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah. But I think you live your life the way you want to live. Like I want to start a family over everything else, and so you know what I mean. It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to
Good
end
place
it.
to call it.
Thank you guys so much for watching the post-Easter episode. Yeah, you got anything else to say?
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Still took the words right out of my mouth. Bye.
See y'all. That was probably one of our worst.
Yeah,
I wasn't happy with that.
I didn't do great on
I didn't do that
my side,
great.
to be honest
I
with you.
didn't
I'm
do
sorry.
great
I
either.
wonder how much not having topics here helped. I
I
definitely
guess
didn't
so.
answer some of your questions great.
Yeah,
like, I just
mean,
didn't feel prepared for some of them.
It's interesting. I might try to give a little bit lighter question. I think the
Yeah.
way I wasn't very good at asking the questions either.
Oh no, you're fine. I will say some of the questions are just we're trying to turn ambiguous things into black and white questions, and that can cause
Like?
problems. Like the one you asked before the here, let me pull up the list here. I'll tell you.